Hey there folks, I'm ReubyJuice, and I couldn't be more excited to be bringing you this early access first look at the Bourgault DLC for Farming Simulator 19. Bourgault is a brand that originated in Western Canada, so it's something that's very close to home, if you will, and I'm really happy that this equipment is now in the game. In this video, I'll give you a close-up look at each and every one of the pieces in this DLC, give you my overall thoughts on it, and in general, whether or not I think this is going to be worth your money as a Farming Simulator 19 player. If you've been paying close attention to Giant's fact sheets, you'll know that this DLC is focused on bringing some massive North American style equipment to FS19. Bourgault is known for its absolutely gigantic seeders, and it's also got some tillage equipment and a really large harrow that are included in this pack. Ultimately, this DLC is going to appeal to you if you like big equipment, big farms, and North American style farming. So for me, it's perfect. That's the type of gameplay that I really enjoy. I love farming a large amount of acreage with big equipment, multiples of the same equipment, doing that kind of thing. So this DLC definitely appeals to me in a big way. And again, not to mention that it's Canadian, so I am a little bit biased. So this DLC comes with 8 different pieces of equipment. And of course, as you see, 4 of those actually combine to make 2 seeder air cart combinations. So really, you get 6 pieces of equipment that you can use on your farm. So let's dive in and take a look at all of this equipment. So at this end, we've got the 3320-76 Paralink hoe drill, along with the 7950 air cart. Now this is a pretty massive seeder compared to most others in the game, coming in at 76 feet, or 23.2 meters. So if we take a look at the 3320-76 Paralink hoe drill in the shop, you don't get any options with it, but what do you need? It takes 500 horsepower to pull it, it's got a width of 23.2 meters, or 76 feet, and it'll seed at 18 kilometers an hour. And it'll run you $273,500. And you can see here at the bottom, this one does offer the ability to direct seed without any cultivating or plowing. If we take a look at the 7950 air cart, it holds 33,475 liters, and that is a combination of seed and fertilizer. It'll cost you $272,000, and you do have the option of paying an extra $4,600 for the rear twin wheels, or an extra $9,200 for twin wheels all the way around, which would bring your total to $281,200. Moving on to the XR770 Harrow, this thing is considered a weeder in the game, and it is by far the biggest weeder that we've got. It's got a working width of either 21.3 or 27.4 meters, 70 or 90 feet, depending on which option you choose in the shop. And we'll take a quick look here in the shop as well. So we've got the XR770-70, which is the 70-foot version, and that will cost you $56,000. And then you see we can add on the extra 20 feet at the back there, the XR770-90, and that's going to cost you $60,500. Both versions require 350 horsepower to pull and will work at 12 kilometers per hour. Here we've got the smallest seeder in the Bourgault pack, the FMS CD872-8. This is a seeder and air cart combination unit that's got a working width of 26 feet. And if we pop into the shop here to take a look at it, you see it holds 7,200 liters of seed and fertilizer combined, needs 240 horsepower to pull. Like I said, it has a working width of 8 meters or 26 feet, and it will also seed at 18 kilometers an hour, just like the hoe drill that we looked at earlier. And it'll cost you $182,500. And no options on this one, but like I said with the other seeder, not a whole lot of options required. Sticking with the Bourgault equipment, we've got the SPS360-50 Cultivator, which has a working width of 12 meters or 40 feet. And if we take a look in the shop here, it requires 480 horsepower to pull, has a working speed of 15 kilometers per hour, and will cost you $189,500. So a pretty decent little cultivator in terms of size and the power requirement and bang for your buck overall. And last but certainly not least, we have Bourgault's flagship seeder, the 3420-100 Paralink hoe drill, along with the 71-300 air cart. This seeder has a working width of 30.5 meters or 100 feet, so that makes it the biggest seeder in Farming Simulator 19. Bigger than even the Vaterstad Seedhawk. So if we pop into the shop to take a look at the hoe drill portion of this combination, you can see it is an absolute beast. It'll cost you $430,500, so it does come at quite the cost, but it only needs 600 horsepower to pull, which is actually less horsepower than the Seedhawk requires, so you get more working width for less horsepower. And it has a working speed of 18 kilometers per hour. And if we look at the 71-300 air cart, you see it's got a capacity of 45,810 liters of seed and fertilizer combined. It'll cost you $331,500, so that is going to set you back well over $700,000 for this seeding combination. But it's going to help you get fields done in no time and without having to refill very often. And now that we've taken a look at all of the Bourgault equipment, there's obviously one final piece that we haven't looked at yet, and that is the John Deere 9RX. I know a lot of people have been very excited to see that this is coming to the game, especially console users who haven't had a chance to have any type of mod of this vehicle yet. It's definitely looking absolutely fantastic. If you've seen any of the footage from Giants earlier, you'll know that the sounds are great, but let's hop in and start it up just to check it out. Sounds great. We'll pop into the cab here and take a quick look around as well. You see it's got the monitor lit up there. Nicely modeled interior. Everything seems pretty true to life. I haven't been in a 9RX myself, so I don't know for sure, but definitely is looking very nice. So let's take a quick look at this 9RX in the shop. The base model comes with 517 horsepower and will cost you $428,500. And of course, all of them will have a maximum speed of 40 kilometers per hour. Now you can also bump that up to either 572 horsepower, 628 horsepower, or the 9620RX at 670 horsepower. So that's not quite what you get with the Case Quad Track. I believe it's 692 horsepower, but it is pretty close and well above what you'd need for that 100-foot drill, which, like I said before, only needs 600 horsepower. And you do actually get one other wheel option or track option in this case. You could put the 3M tracks on it, just a bit of a wider stance for it. Now, the one thing that I must say is I am a little bit disappointed that Giants didn't put out a US spec version of the 9RX along with this pack. I would have loved to see that come along with the Bourgault equipment, since the Bourgault equipment, in a sense, is North American spec. It's made here in Western Canada. For all intents and purposes, this does seem like a very North American style DLC, and so I thought that perhaps this would be a chance for Giants to break new ground, put out a US spec version of the 9RX along with the pack, but alas, we do not see that here. We still have the European style warning signs on the front and the back, but we'll just have to make do with what we get. So before I go ahead and show these things in action, there was one thing I wanted to test out, and that was if you could swap out the air carts that are sort of designed to go with the certain drill and use it with the other one. So here you can see I've got the 71-300 air cart, which is the bigger of the two, the really massive one, and it's hooked up to the 76-foot drill, not the 100-foot one. So this is the 3320-76 Paralink hoe drill. So you can see here, obviously you can use the bigger air cart on the smaller drill, which is awesome because if you don't want to spend as much money on the drill portion, you can still get the bigger air cart so you don't have to fill up as often. That to me is a huge bonus, that you can switch them out and use whichever air cart you want on whichever drill you want. And also I did test it, and you can have the air cart running in front of the drill as well if you'd like to do it that way. You can see here there's a hitch on the back, so you can swap them out. I would recommend pulling the air cart behind the drill. I think it just works better that way, but you do have the option of doing it either way if that's what you'd like to do. So the one other thing I wanted to test sort of live is whether you can hit the auger on the air cart fairly easily with something like a tender truck or seed tender, auger wagon, whatever it is you're using to fill up with seed. I wanted to see how easy it is, because I've dealt with some modded seeders that have pretty difficult tips to hit on the auger portion of the air cart. So let's give it a shot. You can see here I've got a number of tender trucks lined up, all ready to go, some with seed, some with fertilizer. So let's get some seed into these drills and get moving. You can see the animation here for the auger coming out. And so I didn't have too much trouble hitting this tip point with this tender truck. You can see here, seeds are dumping into the auger, filling up, and that was pretty straightforward. Not a lot of work involved, so excellent work by Giants on making sure that it's not too difficult to hit that trigger point. Nothing worse than having to fiddle around and try and find the trigger point when you're wanting to fill up with seed or fertilizer. And so you can see here in the HUD that this large air cart, this is the 71-300, of course I'm using on the 100-foot drill, it holds 25,550 liters of seeds. So we've got these two seeders all filled up. I'll get this auger put away. Takes a little bit, but it's a pretty big auger. And we'll watch this thing unfold. Looks nicely animated to me. Pretty true to life, I would say, having seen just a couple of these things in real life and also on the Bourgault YouTube channel. We turn it on there. You can see the coulters drop down as we lower it, and away we go. Now this is such a prime setup for a map like Stone Valley. I know it was one of the ones recommended by Giants to go along with this DLC, and you can see why. It's just wide open spaces, lots of room to make the most out of this absolutely massive seeder, and the even bigger one that we'll get to in just a second here. This pack is meant for maps like this, I would say. So let's have a peek at how the Paralink 100-foot hoe drill unfolds. So we've got one side, then the other. And it swings out and actually pulls the tractor backwards as it does that. Comes together, links in the middle. We've got those coulters coming down and then the guide wheels at the back. Absolutely stunning. This is a real piece of work. So we'll turn it on. Lower it down. You see all the coulters hit the ground there. And we're off and running. And what an absolute beast. Like I said, you can see why this map is a prime candidate for this pack. Absolutely massive equipment. Very nicely modeled too, I must say. Absolutely loving this. I'm very excited to use this in my own save games. Cannot wait. And while we're here, may as well take a quick peek at how this Harrow unfolds. Let's watch these animations in action. And of course, this is the larger version of the Harrow. Look at that. This thing is absolutely massive. Just look at the ground you'll be able to cover with a weeder. This might give some sprayers a run for their money. And you see, you just lower it down like that, and away you'd go. Obviously no weeds here, but just gives you a sense of what it'll look like in action. And last but not least, let's take a look at the cultivator here. Nice slow animation. Very controlled. I said slow, but you know what? It's pretty quick, actually. Doesn't take long, not a lot of unfolding parts. And it's ready to go. And just to see it in action, we'll cultivate this corn in here. Lower it down. See the rollers working at the back there. And you do see this thing has a hitch on the back. Not sure what you'd use it for. I did, just for transport, attach the Harrow to the back of it, so the hitch does work. But I'm not sure what you'd want to tow behind the cultivator. You're not going to be able to tow a seeder with it, I don't think. So, like I said, not sure, but the option is there. Just like I said, for transport or something else, you could always do it. And that's about going to do it for this first look at the Bourgault DLC. I hope you've enjoyed this. I very much enjoyed playing with this DLC, and I'm looking forward to using it a lot. As far as whether this is worth your money, I think that's going to come down to what type of gameplay you like, what you want to be doing on your farm. If you like big equipment, you like North American style farming and North American style equipment, then I do think that this DLC would be well worth your money. It's very nicely modeled. It's very useful equipment. I'm really excited about this DLC. I hope you are too. I am a Giants partner, so if you would like to buy this DLC, check out the link in the description below, or just use code ReubyJuice when you check out on the Giants website. I would very much appreciate any support. In any case, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more Farming Simulator news, tutorials, Let's Plays, all the above. Until then, I'll see you next time.